You're listening to the Armchair Quarterbacks Show. Please like and subscribe today. YouTube.com, Armchair Quarterbacks 1, home of Braves Country Baseball, Tuesday and Friday nights, along with pop-up shows, and the Armchair Quarterbacks Show, which airs live Saturday mornings. YouTube.com, Armchair Quarterbacks 1. Hey, football fans, the Armchair Quarterback Show is back Saturday mornings, 9 a.m. to noon Eastern. A 3-hour wake-up show that'll cover it all. College football, the NFL, fantasy football, and Major League Baseball. It's the Armchair Quarterback Show, 9 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern, Saturday mornings, right here on the Armchair Quarterbacks 1 YouTube channel.
It's important to remember the value of taking time for ourselves to do the things that help us grow and explore, like learning something new. And now with the Great Courses Plus, it's never been easier to experience the joys of learning. The Great Courses Plus offers thousands of streaming videos that cover hundreds of fascinating topics, from World War II to choosing the perfect wine. You can even take a course on the U.S. government or dealing with stress and anxiety. And because the Great Courses Plus partners with world-class professors and experts, you're always receiving thoroughly vetted, high-quality content from every lecture. Plus, you can watch or listen anytime, anywhere with the Great Courses Plus app. So take a little time for you. Sign up for the Great Courses Plus today for a free month of unlimited access. Visit thegreatcoursesplus.com/radio to get started. That's thegreatcoursesplus.com/radio.
I think my jersey was one of the top selling jerseys around the world. It was like Kobe, LeBron, and then I was right behind them, and I didn't make a dollar from it, but nor did I want to, because I knew going into college what it was all about. I knew going to my dream school where I wanted to go, the passion for it. And if I could support my team, support my college, support my university, that's what it's all about. But now we're changing it from us, from we, from my university, from being an alumni where I care, which makes college football and college sports special, to then, okay, it's not about us, it's not about we, it's just about me. And yes, I know we live in a selfish culture where it's all about us, but we're just adding and piling it onto that, where it changes what's special about college football. We turn it into the NFL, where who has the most money, that's where you go. That's why people are more passionate about college sports than they are about NFL. That's why the stadiums are bigger in college than they are in the NFL, because it's about your team, it's about your university, it's about where my family wanted to go. And you're taking that away so that young kids can earn $1. And that's just not where I feel like college football needs to go.
Armchair.
Tom has been a teacher for over 40 years. One day, I think one of the students had asked the question and he didn't remember the answer. And I also noticed that he was letting his class out earlier than they were supposed to let out. I was really starting to worry.
Levi and I talked about how it would change our lives, but he was there beside me.
When something feels different, it could be Alzheimer's. Now is the time to talk. Visit alz.org/ourstories to learn more. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
I'm Amy Lawrence, and I'm up late, always, after hours, hanging out with you on CBS Sports Radio. Check it out, 2 a.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. Pacific.
Join the Armchair Quarterback Show for its 9th season. And this year, we're doing it all in one show. Saturday mornings, 9 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern, we'll be talking college football, the SEC, the Big Ten, other big games of the day. We'll be diving into the National Football League, focusing on the Southern football teams and all the big matchups throughout the land, and doing it while covering the point spreads, the over-unders, the prop bets, fantasy football. We'll tell you who to start and who to sit, and everybody's favorite, the stupid underdog picks. We'll cover Major League Baseball all the way through October and beyond. It's the Armchair Quarterback Show, 9 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern, Saturday mornings on Armchair Quarterbacks 1 YouTube channel.
Lager, the beer that brought the forest down.
I drive an exotic imported sports car. I eat exotic foreign food like frankfurters and pizza. But when it comes to numbing my mind, I'm a patriot. I drink the beer that brought the forest down. I'm a lager man. And with the new 80-bottle trunk pack, you've got enough for the evening. Hey, it's happy hour somewhere.
Lager brings out the patriot in you.
Hey, Braves fans, the Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube channel are bringing you Braves baseball all season long. Hi, I'm Mac McGee, and I'll be bringing you Braves baseball play-by-play for the Braves fans out there, for all of Braves country. So pull up an armchair and join us for Braves country baseball, first pitch to last pitch, Tuesday and Friday nights, right here on the Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube channel. You're listening to Braves Country Baseball. Please like and subscribe today. YouTube.com, Armchair Quarterbacks 1. Hey, football fans. The Armchair Quarterbacks Show is back Saturday mornings, 9 a.m. to noon Eastern. A 3-hour wake-up show that'll cover it all. College football, the NFL, fantasy football, and Major League Baseball. It's the Armchair Quarterbacks Show, 9 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern, Saturday mornings, right here on the Armchair Quarterbacks 1 YouTube channel.
Enjoy sun-drenched days, epic stays, and plenty of room to roam in Greater Fort Lauderdale. Our hotels, attractions, and restaurants have taken the Visit Lauderdale's Safe and Clean pledge so you can relax and explore with confidence. When you're ready for that well-deserved staycation, our 23 miles of golden beaches await. Find wide-open spaces to hike, bike, kayak, and paddleboard. Visit your favorite attractions, then dine out in style on waterfront patios. Learn more at sunny.org.
To protect his family from disaster, Steve used his camera phone.
Done.
By taking pictures of his important documents, Steve can always have them stored online. Learn more simple disaster prep tips at ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
Join the Armchair Quarterbacks Show for its 9th season. And this year, we're doing it all in one show. Saturday mornings, 9 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern. We'll be talking college football, the SEC, the Big Ten, other big games of the day. We'll be diving into the National Football League, focusing on the Southern football teams and all the big matchups throughout the land, and doing it while covering the point spreads, the over-unders, the prop bets, fantasy football. We'll tell you who to start and who to sit, and everybody's favorite, the stupid underdog picks. We'll cover Major League Baseball all the way through October and beyond. It's the Armchair Quarterback Show, 9 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern, Saturday mornings on Armchair Quarterbacks 1 YouTube channel.
Make contact. A collective psychosis is sweeping the nation. We're in the thick of the haze craze, and Elysian is introducing an altered state of IPA. Contact Haze is a tangled chemistry of mild haze, low bitterness, and an explosion of hop aroma. This hazy IPA bursts with notes of bright raspberry, currant, citrus, guava, and passion fruit. Available in 6-pack cans in stores and all Seattle Elysian locations. Make contact.
Saturday mornings, the Armchair Quarterbacks, a Southern tradition like no other. We dive into the Southeastern Conference and the Southern teams in the National Football League. We talk to betting lines, fantasy football. So join us Saturday mornings and get your football weekend started right with the Armchair Quarterbacks, 9 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern, right here on Armchair Quarterbacks 1 YouTube channel.
I'm not audible. I'll use Red Polly, Blue Poncho. Dilly! Rambo!
You're listening to Armchair Quarterbacks.
This portion of the show is brought to you by the best things in life, which are still free with minimum purchase at participating dealers.
Job running to the post office? Stamps.com links post office and UPS services right to your computer.
Send letters, ship packages, and get up to 40% off USPS and up to 62% off UPS rates. You know small businesses use Stamps.com to save time and money. That's a no-brainer. So skip the post office and visit Stamps.com.
Hi, this is Britney Spears.
What up, this is Jay-Z.
This is Jennifer Lopez. Armchair.
Hey, Braves fans, the Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube channel are bringing you Braves baseball all season long. Hi, I'm Mac McGee, and I'll be bringing you Braves baseball play-by-play for the Braves fans out there, for all of Braves country. So pull up the armchair and join us for Braves country baseball, first pitch to last pitch, Tuesday and Friday nights, right here on the Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube channel. Armchair Quarterback Radio, the gunslingers of sports talk.
Quarterback from far on Southern Mississippi by way of the Atlanta Falcons. They are hopeful to Kansas City in the NFL. From the 35, is there a spark of life in Green Bay? Johnny Marino! There's Marino. That was the field goal. Number 37. Other teams have break the all-time NFL record. Going deep and open. Touchdown, Mark Cooper. Cooper has returned, and he is Cooper. They are going to bring pressure again. Rodgers is going to roll around. Throws it up in the air. Says a prayer. Please.
It's the 21st century, and there are just so many fun and exciting ways to lose your money. So many ways to make your life even more interesting with crippling financial burdens. Why not one more way? New in Canada, it's Solitaire, MMORPG. Play with yourself, online. See other people playing with themselves, online. Poverty Poker Online, now offering Solitaire. A new way to lose all your money, even your home, from the comfort of your own home.
TGIF on the Armchair Quarterbacks. Justin Waller and Mac McGee are back at it 6 p.m. Eastern to 7 p.m. Eastern every Friday evening right here on the Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube channel and your local CBS Sports affiliates. We're talking the NFL, Major League Baseball, and Southern football, so grab you a cold one. It's finally Friday on the Armchair Quarterbacks. 6 p.m. Eastern to 7 p.m. Eastern. Waller and McGee getting you ready for your sports weekend.
You're listening to CBS Sports Radio. We are all sports 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Strong opinions and your phone calls. Expect it here. CBS Sports Radio.
Join the Armchair Quarterback Show for its 9th season. And this year, we're doing it all in one show. Saturday mornings, 9 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern, we'll be talking college football, the SEC, the Big Ten, other big games of the day. We'll be diving into the National Football League, focusing on the Southern football teams and all the big matchups throughout the land, and doing it while covering the point spreads, the over-unders, the prop bets, fantasy football. We'll tell you who to start and who to sit, and everybody's favorite, the stupid underdog picks. We'll cover Major League Baseball all the way through October and it's the Armchair Quarterback Show, 9 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern, Saturday mornings on Armchair Quarterbacks 1 YouTube channel.
Remember, if for any reason you must leave your radio, please have the man at the door stamp your ear so you can listen again later.
The Armchair Quarterbacks on YouTube Live, covering the AFC South and NFC South along with the rest of the NFL. Subscribe and like us today. Your first choice for sports talk live from the First Coast. Saturday mornings, the Armchair Quarterbacks, a Southern tradition like no other. We dive into the Southeastern Conference and the Southern teams in the National Football League. We talk to betting lines, fantasy football. So join us Saturday mornings and get your football weekend started right with the Armchair Quarterbacks, 9 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern, right here on Armchair Quarterbacks 1 YouTube channel.
Why did you get so drunk?
You got drunk. I'm just really exhausted.
What's in that cup?
Rum and Cokes?
Do you have any idea how important this is? We're trying to save the public. Really? This is what you're doing? You know what's going to happen?
Hyperbole is done. Now we can finally play the game. We are live in Tallahassee, the capital of the great state of Florida. And Desmond Howard going in motion on 2nd down and 5 for Michigan, playing on real grass at Michigan Stadium. Going to the sideline, and it's intercepted. Florida State was sitting and waiting for the touchdown. What do you do?
You're listening to the Armchair Quarterback Show. Please like and subscribe today. YouTube.com, Armchair Quarterbacks 1. Home of Braves Country Baseball, Tuesday and Friday nights, along with pop-up shows, and the Armchair Quarterbacks Show, which airs live Saturday mornings, YouTube.com, Armchair Quarterbacks 1. Hey, football fans, the Armchair Quarterback Show is back Saturday mornings, 9 a.m. to noon Eastern. A 3-hour wake-up show that'll cover it all. College football, the NFL, fantasy football, and Major League Baseball. It's the Armchair Quarterback Show, 9 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern, Saturday mornings, right here on the Armchair Quarterbacks 1 YouTube channel.
It's important to remember the value of taking time for ourselves to do the things that help us grow and explore, like learning something new. And now with the Great Courses Plus, it's never been easier to experience the joys of learning. The Great Courses Plus offers thousands of streaming videos that cover hundreds of fascinating topics, from World War II to choosing the perfect wine. You can even take a course on the U.S. government or dealing with stress and anxiety. And because the Great Courses Plus partners with world-class professors and experts, you're always receiving thoroughly vetted, high-quality content from every lecture. Plus, you can watch or listen anytime, anywhere with the Great Courses Plus app. So take a little time for you. Sign up for the Great Courses Plus today for a free month of unlimited access. Visit thegreatcoursesplus.com/radio to get started. That's thegreatcoursesplus.com/radio.
I think my jersey was one of the top selling jerseys around the world. It was like Kobe, LeBron, and then I was right behind them, and I didn't make a dollar from it, but nor did I want to, because I knew going into college what it was all about. I knew going to my dream school, where I wanted to go, the passion for it, and if I could support my team, support my college, support my university, that's what it's all about. But now we're changing it from us, from my university, from being an alumni where I care, which makes college football and college sports special, to then, okay, it's not about us, it's not about we, it's just about me. And yes, I know we live in a selfish culture where it's all about us, but we're just adding and piling it onto that, where it changes what's special about college football. We turn it into the NFL, where who has the most money, that's where you go.
This portion of the show is being brought to you by Ed's Almost Good Beer. Remember, Ed's Almost Good Beer was brewed in God's country when God wasn't looking.
Hey, football fans, the Armchair Quarterback Show is back Saturday mornings, 9 a.m. to noon Eastern. A 3-hour wake-up show that'll cover it all. College football, the NFL, fantasy football, and Major League Baseball. It's the Armchair Quarterback Show, 9 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern, Saturday mornings, right here on the Armchair Quarterbacks 1 YouTube channel.
Hey, Jacksonville, winter is the perfect time to start planning for your healthy, pest-free spring lawn with True Green, America's #1 lawn care company. True Green's science-based approach and local expertise will help give your lawn the year-round care it needs to be thick and weed-free. Go to truegreen.com/radio to save 50% on your first service. Just call 866-946-5956 or go to truegreen.com/radio today and get a lawn to be proud of.
Hey, Braves fans, the Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube channel are bringing you Braves baseball all season long. Hi, I'm Mac McGee, and I'll be bringing you Braves baseball play-by-play for the Braves fans out there, for all of Braves country. So pull up an armchair and join us for Braves country baseball, first pitch to last pitch, Tuesday and Friday nights, right here on the Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube channel.
Lager, the beer that brought the forest down. I drive an exotic imported sports car. I eat exotic foreign food like frankfurters and pizza. But when it comes to numbing my mind, I'm a patriot. I drink the beer that brought the forest down. I'm a lager man. And with the new 80-bottle trunk pack, you've got enough for the evening. Hey, it's happy hour somewhere. Lager brings out the patriot in you.
Join the Armchair Quarterbacks show for its 9th season. And this year, we're doing it all in one show. Saturday mornings, 9 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern, we'll be talking college football, the SEC, the Big Ten, other big games of the day. We'll be diving into the National Football League, focusing on the Southern football teams and all the big matchups throughout the land. And doing it while covering the point spreads, the over-unders, the prop bets, fantasy football. We'll tell you who to start and who to sit. And everybody's favorite, the stupid underdog picks. And we'll cover Major League Baseball all the way through October and beyond. It's the Armchair Quarterback Show, 9 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern, Saturday mornings on Armchair Quarterbacks 1 YouTube channel.
Kinda stuck between a rock and a hard place. Do I work hard or live at my pace? You're only young once, living life is doing lots of cocaine. Wait, no, it's living with no shame. Wait, no, it's sleeping in on Sundays. Living life, every day, late at night, not okay. All I want, and I pray, all I need are some better days. Yeah, all I need are some better days. All I want.
Good afternoon. Good evening. We are live and we are about to do our annual look. We do this every year. It's the first time you've joined us for this, fair enough, but we do this every year. ESPN does their live draft and they did it last night, and then they give their grades and then we give what we think the real grades are. And you're always going to expect the grades that they give are going to be much nicer. Actually, I thought this was one of the better years. There's been other years where we really killed a lot of them, but I believe that this was actually one of the better years. I do have two big questions. A, why is it that they only did a 10-man league when you have plenty of employees there that you can choose from? Diana Rossini, she was in it a few times, and I always thought she did really well. As far as I know, she's still with ESPN, so I don't know why she wasn't in it. And then Field Yates, he was hosting it, but we'd like to see him in it, because if you're going to call yourself a fantasy football expert, we want to see what you can actually do. It's real easy to sit back there on the sidelines and say, hey, you aren't doing so good, or this and that. And I watched it. I still enjoyed it, but it would have been a lot better if he would have been in there, I know Matthew Berry did that a few times where he didn't draft. And to me, it's better when you have some skin in the game. It's much more entertaining. The show, a fantasy football show, does not need a host. A fantasy football draft does not need like a quote unquote host, right? This isn't the Oscars. You don't need a host. All you need to do is set the clock, let it go, and let the conversation go where it was. So all in all, I thought it was one of their better drafts, especially from the production end of it. I thought it was pretty good. It was a little irritating on the screen where you couldn't consistently see what everyone was drafting because they were throwing so much stuff on the screen. But that comes from a different higher up. So that is what that is. But let's go ahead and get into them. After that, we are going to do a live fantasy best ball. And I'm looking right now to see what is actually populating. We'll get into that in the very, very short future, as I thought that they were going to have their $3, what was it called? Pomegranate or whatever. And they did only fast drafts. And I guess the whole thing already filled up by the time I got off work today. I go to sit down to do this and I'm like, it's already gone, but we are going to do a best draft. So don't worry about that. All right. First one's first. I'm actually going to go backwards because I think the better ones were at the end. I'm going to give the number 10 draft pick, which was Anita Marks. I thought it was an A. You could probably argue an A-, but I thought it was a solid A. 10-man league, 10-person league, however you want to word that. And she starts off, Najee Harris falls to the bottom, which I thought was insane. And then she grabs Swift at the turn. That might have been a little bit of a reach, but as it came back down, A.J. Brown, DJ Moore, Justin Herbert, Gibson. And Gibson, I don't necessarily love, but when that's one of your flex options, I don't hate it when you couple it with Renfro. I think Hunter Renfro is a solid flex option this year. And then ended up with Zach Ertz at the tight end position. And then James Cook, I like his upside. She got him for, what was that? The 9th round. Pierce, who's trending up. I think people are giving him a higher value than they should. Remember, he didn't really light the world on fire at Florida. Now, I saw a tweet today where they were talking about how much they're in love with him and how much, how good he was in high school, et cetera, and gave his high school stats. Okay. But then why did you ignore all his college stats? His college stats are very blasé. So all the things for Pierce seem to be there, the size, the speed, et cetera, but does he have that vision in the hole? And it didn't ever seem like that he did at Florida. I mean, he was topping out at 500 yards a season, somewhere in that area. But he does have versatility out of the backfield. So I don't hate the pick at Pierce. At the 10th, 11th was Palmer. I thought that was solid value. And then Rondelle Moore. The only thing I would say with this is if I was going to improve anything, look, I'm assuming that they're in a 14-person league and they just don't do the defenses and the kickers. They do that at the end. So this is a 12-round draft. The only thing that I would throw in here is a little concerned that you don't have a backup quarterback, but quarterbacks are usually easily streamed. So I understand that. Then you go to I hope I'm pronouncing it right, Tyler Fulghum. I thought he had a really good draft as well. I questioned it at first, but then after you always wait till the dust settles and actually look at the team and look, he's got Josh Allen at quarterback, Kelsey at tight end. So you love that. He's got the two elites. Saquon Barkley. A lot of people are big on Barkley this year. I am not. I think he's still a guy that, I will say this, because of what we think his carries and touches may be, it does improve a little bit with the Barkley pick. I just wouldn't be willing to grab him at the 11th overall pick. I think that's just a little too high for Barkley. I don't mind having Barkley. He's going to have to slip much farther down, early 3rd round, maybe late 2nd round, depending on how big your league is. Then he got Allen Robinson. I love the Allen Robinson pick. The Allen Robinson pick, when you couple that with Josh Allen as your quarterback, Kelsey is the tight end, he's got Allen Robinson. Then he's got some upside in Mike Thomas. I know that he hasn't played in 2 years, and I know that scares the hell out of anybody that drafts him, but Thomas is so damn talented. Gabe Davis, he coupled him with Josh Allen. And then A.J. Dillon, I know Clay didn't like Dillon, the pick of Dillon, but I do. I think A.J. Dillon is going to actually get a lot of carries this year, and I don't think it's going to be that far of a stretch to say that Dillon is worthy, will have been worthy of a 4th, 5th round pick, which is where Tyler got him. Then Juju Smith-Schuster, that was an absolute steal. An absolute steal. That was sitting in the 7th round. No, 8th round. And then in the 9th round, he gets Hopkins, D-Hop. And I know D-Hop's not going to be there for 6 weeks, but hey, that just means he's got a better chance of being healthy at the playoffs. And he's a throw-in. He is your 4th receiver on your team. So I love that pick. Patterson, I'm not sold on, but I wasn't sold on him last year. And then I was lucky enough to grab him in a couple of years, in a couple of leagues, and Cordell Patterson really took off. We're always hearing these stories that Patterson's not going to be that heavily involved. And then the ball gets kicked off in week 1 and they go, give him the ball. So I don't hate the Patterson pick. Pickens is a great value. The only thing, there's no reason why I gave it an A-. The only thing, Julio Jones, I wouldn't have drafted him. I would have found someone else. I don't have their available players in front of me, but could have found something better than Julio Jones. And I mean, just for the simple fact that Rondelle Moore was there when he drafted Julio Jones, that says a lot right there. And in fact, no, I'm sorry. Gallup, I believe, was there. Gallup and Romeo Dubs. Okay. Go on from that. Liz Loza, she's coming over from Yahoo Fantasy, I believe. I thought this is a really good draft. Don't worry, they're not all A's, but this is an A. And I don't normally give A's. Normally I'm much harder on these, but I thought she had a phenomenal draft. I almost wanted to give it an A+, but there was a couple of picks at the end that I'm a little sketchy on. Derrick Henry sitting at the number 8 spot. That's a little insane. Stephon Diggs then comes back to her on the turn. I mean, what is that? How does he fall that far? And Cam Akers comes back. That's not that big of a shock. But then when she gets the 4th round pick, it is Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb is sitting there the 4th round. Get out of here. Marquise Brown in the 5th round. Patrick Mahomes in the 6th. Lockett in the 7th. I'm not big on Lockett, but we also know that you can put Lockett in, and he's a boomer bust guy. But if you get an injury, he's actually a really good person to have on your roster because A, injuries, and B, anything else. Matchups, bye weeks, etc. So once you get past Lockett, you get Elijah Moore, another boomer bust guy. Ramondre Stevenson, I'm not in love with that pick, but at that point, that was just, I mean, she already had Henry and Akers and Chubb. That was just depth. And these aren't very deep rosters. So you're talking about carrying 3, maybe 4 running backs. Pacheco, she gets at the end. And so look, if that doesn't work out, you just drop that. I mean, your 12th round pick, you don't sweat that. And Russell Gage should play well in the beginning of the season. All right. This is the first bad grade that we give of the day. Daniel Dopp. What do they call him? Secret Squirrel? Man, I'm just not in love with this one. It's a C+ for me. It's a C+. Justin Jefferson falling to number 7. I was like, this guy is about to have a hell of a draft. And I love the pick with Mixon coming back around. And just because I'm giving a C+, it's not that I don't think that he has a possibility of having a good team, but the back end of his draft, he just got to clean some stuff up, go out there and get some pickups. Pittman was a solid pick with the second, or actually 3rd receiver at that point. And then David Montgomery, not in love with that pick. but I'm not going to kill him for that. I actually like the St. Brown pick in the 6th round better than Montgomery in the 5th. TJ Hawkins is solid. After that is where it gets really sketchy. To me, Singletary showed he is not going to be any kind of a force, and I would have rather taken a chance on James Cook if I'm going to grab a Buffalo running back. Allen Lazard, I just think like there's a lot of options there, and that was a bit of a reach considering some of the players that were still out there. At that point in the round that Allen Lazard went, or even before with Singletary, I guess it was right before he drafted Lazard, he could have had Kyler Murray at his quarterback. So Russell Wilson gets with his quarterback. I don't think that's terrible, but Russell Wilson's seen his better days. Melvin Gordon is a good, solid running back backup. But then he goes to Joey Gallup. Gallup won't play at the beginning. I get it. He's going to throw him in the IR and go try to find someone else. But all in all, the back end of that draft, I did not like, and that's why I have it as a C+. I didn't give it a solid C. Just low enough where I couldn't quite give it a B. But I do think if you clean up some of the lower picks in that draft, you really do have the ability to turn that team around. So I love the core of the team. Okay, Eric Moody. I believe he came over from Yahoo as well. I'm not 100% sure about that. I was doing the Braves game last night, so I caught the replay. I recorded it, and this is how I came up with this. So I didn't watch the entire thing word for word, but I did watch quite a bit of the broadcast. Enjoyed it a lot. I liked a lot of the participants. Once again, I would have liked to see Mina Kimes in there or someone else, and I would have loved to have seen Field Yates, since he's going to be their fantasy guy. He needs to be in the draft. Come on, man. Sack up. All right. Moody, Dalvin Cook fell to him at number 6. I thought that was a solid pick. I think Kamara was a little bit of a stretch. And the reason why I say that is I think he could have got him later in the draft. But with that being said, he said he was a Saints fan. If you're a Saints fan and you have a chance to get Kamara, get him. Make yourself happy. T. Higgins, good pick in the 3rd round. Deontay Johnson, that was a solid 4th round pick. Then Cortland Sutton, I actually prefer him over Judy. And that was a big debate that they had, Judy or Sutton, but I prefer Sutton. And Darren Waller, that was a steal in the 6th round. You got Darren Waller, then Rashad Bateman, who should pay good dividends. Hunt comes back to him in the 8th round. And I'll say something for Liz Loza. If she would have gotten Kareem Hunt as well, which she could have, when it was coming back up, Kareem Hunt was sitting there. She took Elijah Moore instead. If she would have grabbed Hunt, it would have been an A++. That would have been a great draft. Because at that point, you could have grabbed someone else at receiver coming back down, going back to her team. And you would have had Chubb and you would have had Hunt, which means that you got that covered. If you have Chubb, Hunt, Henry, and Akers, it's a wrap. Finishing up with Moody's team, he entered with Pollard. I do like the Pollard pick. And the reason why I'm marking him as a B is because of what he got at the end of his draft. Trey Lance in the 10th round and Sky Moore in the 11th round. Those were great picks. J.D. McKissick, I don't know. Like I said, you're not going to kill someone on the 12th round pick because of all likelihood, they may not even be on their team by week 1. Because I know I do it. I'll make a draft, the tail end of the draft, and go, I'll just grab this guy, whatever. And then I start looking around to see what's on the waiver wire and start checking injuries and other scenarios. All right. Mina Kimes, I thought this was a good team, a little better than Moody. I'm giving her a B+ on this. And the reason why Cooper Kupp falls to her number 5, that was ridiculous. They should have never let Cooper Kupp fall to number 5. Aaron Jones comes back to her on the turn in the 2nd round. He lasted way too long. James Conner then falls to her again in the 3rd round. And when you can start off with Cooper Kupp, Jones, and Conner, you've got a solid core. The only reason why I don't give this an A is because I'm not a McLaurin guy, because Carson Wentz is his quarterback. You grab McLaurin, I think, too early in the 4th round, and Josh Jacobs in the 5th round. That drew me back a little bit, but she made up for it. Mooney in the 7th, Cooper in the 8th, and then we just talked about Kyler Murray in the 9th damn round. When all these other, anything past Kyler Murray, there wasn't a whole lot left out there. She grabs Murray in the 9th round. Olave, I think that is a sneaky good play in the 10th round. James Robinson should get some production, and he might end up being the goal line guy. And then Romeo Doubs. Romeo Doubs was a really good pick at the end. He is shown out in training camp. And look, we don't know what's going to happen. The first preseason game, he did really well, but at the same time, Romeo Doubs was not on the field with Aaron Rodgers, and you never know who the starting quarterback is going to gel with. So now we go to the individual had the 4th pick overall, Stefania Bell, and she gets a B-, and this is one of her better drafts. I have watched her drafts for years, and it has typically been almost like the person who drafts the person with the perfect upside, and you never get that upside because there's so many concerns and question marks. This year, I thought she did a lot better. I do say that had she taken anyone but Eckler with that 4th pick, like if it would have been Cooper Kupp, if it would have been Derrick Henry, Dalvin Cook, Justin Jefferson, then she's probably got an A. But Eckler, to me, I've said this before, and I'll say it again, I think he's going to have regression. When you score that many touchdowns, you're not going to do it 2 years in a row, especially when you're not a big guy and you got a quarterback who's slinging it. I expect Herbert to light the world on fire and have a lot more touchdown passes, meaning less touchdown rushes. Mark Andrew at the 2nd pick, or the 2nd round pick. I liked that pick better if she would have made sure to get Lamar Jackson. She didn't get Lamar Jackson. So at that point, I kind of, so that's what dropped it down to a B- for me. Keenan Allen, good pick in the 3rd round. A little surprised that he fell that far. I'm sorry, 4th round. No. Yeah, third round. Okay. Keenan Allen was in the 3rd round. 4th round was Zeke Elliott. I don't like Zeke this year, but if you can get him in the 4th round, that's kind of a steal, and you kind of have to do it. I know I'm going to be in a league where he falls to me somewhere in that neighborhood, and I'm going to have to say, let's go. Jerry Jeudy, she gets him after that. And then Elijah Mitchell. Look, we all know she's a 49er fan. There's nothing wrong with drafting your player on your team. I do it all the time in fantasy sports, fantasy baseball and football. If you do talk me into drafting a fantasy basketball team, you better damn believe there's going to be a Celtic on there. So I don't hate the Mitchell move, although I would have probably handcuffed him with at least one more running back on that roster just because of injury history. Drake London, I thought that was a steal in the late, and Thielen, she gets Thielen all the way down in the 8th round. Dak Prescott in the 9th, Edmonds, Woods, Robert Woods, and Nico Collins. So it ends up being, to me, a B-. I thought it was a solid draft, just nothing that you're going to write home about. Adam Schefter, this is by far his best draft. I couldn't give a solid A, but an A- is right there. And there's a couple of reasons why I couldn't give him the A. Jamar Chase was the 3rd overall pick, a bit of a stretch, but I still like it. If you're going to go receiver there, I still like it because it's really between him and Justin Jefferson, and that comes down to whoever you like to watch play more. So Jamar Chase and the upside that man has. Now look, Jefferson, the same thing, but I like the quarterback that's throwing to Chase a little more than I like Jefferson's quarterback. And not that Jefferson's got this bum of a quarterback, but Joe Burrow seems to like to be, he's going to be something special. He comes back with Devontae Adams, which I thought was an absolute crime that he fell that far. That would have been the 17th, 18th pick of the draft. Devontae Adams, that's insane. Then it comes back up. Leonard Fournette, that's a solid pick. I personally would have went somewhere else. Well, I would have gotten a running back before him, but if you're going to go running back there, Leonard Fournette's solid. Then you got Waddle. So you got Waddle, Adams, and Chase. I don't know what their setup is, but I'm assuming they do 2 receivers and a flex since it's only a small roster. And if that's your starting team every week where you send out Fournette, Adams, Chase, Waddle, and the ETN, which to me was a steal in the 5th round. I can't believe that Mike Clayton, will do him in a second. I can't believe that he picked Breece Hall over Travis Etienne. Then he goes and gets Lamar Jackson in the 6th round, and I'm pretty sure with their rules, they get an uptick with quarterbacks for rushing touchdowns. In other words, I believe there are 4 points for the pass. Some leagues, there's 6. I play in both kinds, but pretty sure that's what the deal is there. So you got to love Lamar Jackson in the 6th. You got Schultz in the 7th. Miles Sanders in the 8th, not in love with that pick, but he made up for it. Devontae Smith in the 9th. CEH, I still think a lot of people are sleeping on CEH in the 10th. And how about Rashad Penny falling to him in the 11th round with Treylon Burks in the 12th? Penny and Burks, those are 2 of the best 11th, 12th round picks of this entire draft. I mean, I'd say that there might be one more argument, but I'd have to put it there. So that's why I've got Shefty at an A-. Mike Clay, a solid B. And I know he's, if he heard that, he's like, what are you, crazy? He probably got the team that he wanted. But I don't like the tail end of it. He got CMC, no issues there. Deebo Samuel, maybe a little bit of a reach with the 19th pick. He's going a little farther than that most drafts, but still solid. Tyreek Hill comes back, good pick. J.K. Dobbins, love that. He reached on Breece Hall. It comes back to him in the 6th round. So because he reached on Hall, now he's reaching on Brandon Cooks. Now he saved himself a little bit because he got Cooks and Metcalf, and you'll just kind of feel how it's going and the matchups and whatnot. Goddard, I don't want Goddard necessarily unless I have Jalen Hurts and maybe A.J. Brown, because there are going to be weeks. We saw it last year. Goddard just was a non-factor. Unless you're talking best ball, then it's a different story. Kadarius Toney was the 9th round pick. That's a solid pick. Look, if anyone can get the utilization out of him, it's Dable. And then Harris in the 10th round, that's a very good pick. I could not believe that he goes in the 10th round and Stevenson in the 9th round. Harris is still going to be their bell cow. Now, Stevenson's going to make the catches out of the backfield, but Christian Kirk in the 11th round, that's a very solid pick. And then he waits till the 12th round. He gets Brady, but he could have had a much better draft had he done a couple of things, mainly not reaching on Breece Hall, which kind of started the domino effect into Brandon Cooks. And other than that, I mean, I could even be talked into a B+. I just didn't think it was as good as Schefter's. I didn't think it was as good as Mina Kimes. And we'll rank him here in a second. Woody. Damian Woody. And I like the guy, man. He's entertaining. Love tuning into him. Woody. I know you're new to fantasy football. You've only been playing a few years. I almost wanted to be nice and give it a D-. It's an F. It's an absolute F. And I'll tell you why. I counted this up and I could not believe it. He has 2 running backs. And the first one was Jonathan Taylor. Great pick. CeeDee Lamb falls to him with the 20th pick. Not bad at all. Devontae Williams. We're at a good start. Mike Williams falls to him number 4. All right, let's go. Kyle Pitts, the 5th pick. Didn't hate it. Didn't hate it at all. All your other good tight ends were coming off the board. Godwin falls to him in the 6th. And he goes out and gets quarterback Jalen Hurts. I like Hurts this year. But in a 12-man league, not only does he get Hurts, he also gets Burrow, which I don't hate that if the rest of this had not happened. Ayuk and Garrett Wilson, okay. Good receivers. But Freiermuth and Irv Smith, he has 3 damn tight ends and 2 running backs. You can't do that. So immediately you have to start dropping guys. So what in the hell was the point of drafting these guys? You could have punted on Freiermuth and gotten yourself a running back there and grabbed Irv Smith at the end, or who knows what would have been at the end. And you also could have grabbed one more running back and not drafted either, let's say we replaced one of them earlier in the draft like Ayuk, or let's say it's the tail end with Garrett Wilson. I mean, what I'm looking at right here, when you drafted Burrow, you could have had Damian Harris. When you drafted Garrett Wilson, you could have had Rashad Penny. No, I'm sorry. Penny went two picks before that. But no. I'm right. Could have had Penny. Edmonds. There's just a lot of running backs you could have picked. So let's rank them top to bottom, 1 through 10. Now, of course, this is just the draft. You win, other than best balls, you win your draft by doing one thing and one thing only: starting your lineups correctly and being smart on the waiver wire. So obviously, at number 10, we got Woody. Love the big guy, man, but that was just a bad draft. All right. At number 9, Secret Squirrel. There was a lot of question marks towards the end there. Stefania Bell, I'm going to rank Stefania Bell at number 7. Or I'm sorry, number 8. Probably should have done this the other way around. Number 7, I guess I'll go ahead and put Moody there. There's so many of these teams were so close together. And at that point, I'm going to have to put Clayton and then Mina Kimes. Mike Clayton and Mina Kimes. I'm going to put right in front of Kimes is going to be, I'm going to put Schefter there, Adam Schefter, and then I want to make sure I'm saying her name right. Liz Loza at number 3. Tyler at 2 and Anita Marks at 1. So once again, I've got Anita Marks with the best draft on this ESPN fantasy draft. Tyler Fulghum at number 2. Liz Loza at number 3. Adam Schefter at 4. Mina Kimes 5. Clayton at 6. And then Moody, Bell with Secret Squirrel, and Woody finishing. I mean, man. And the thing is, Squirrel's number 9 is a lot closer to the top than Damian Woody's number 10 is to number 9. Because I could see where Squirrel can do some things in the regular season and make a run. But man, Woody, that's bad action right there. All right, let's go ahead and dive into a best ball draft. And I'm going to try to find one real quick here, see which one that has the slowest or the shortest wait on it. And I do believe I found it. So let me go ahead and share the screen here. And we are going to do now, if you haven't done best ball before, first time watching this, essentially what's going to go down is, let me share this real quick and we'll put it right here. And away we go. Waiting for the draft to fill. It has filled, so it'll be loading up here in a second. But essentially what you have here is you have, at this point, this one only had 10 in it because it was actually about to fill, and I didn't want everyone to stand around and wait. This one is about to fill, and at this point, what we're going to get is 10 people draft. So very similar to last night's draft, but 30 seconds to pick. So it's a little different. You're not running in there and just making your picks as slowly as you go. They had a little more time. So that adds to the difficulty. But with that being said, we got the number 1 pick. So the draft's starting here, and I am going to make no bones about it. I don't have him in a lot of drafts. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do the smart thing and take Jonathan Taylor. You can convince me why CMC would be better, but man, CMC and his injury issues. And of course, there's going to be weeks where you're going to kick yourself in the butt. But the thing about Jonathan Taylor is you should get solid production all year long. So we're waiting for this to go. I'm going to go ahead and share it like this so that this gives you a little better angle of what you're looking at. And when I have to go draft, I have to close it because I can't see anything until then. Let's see if we share that just a little bit. So you'll be able to see my queue and you'll be able to see everything. That's the way we go. And if you're just joining us and you want to go backwards, you know, that's the beauty about YouTube is that you can rewind. I did a breakdown on all the players, all the drafts, and the draft picks done last night on ESPN Fantasy. Okay, so I went ahead and queued Jonathan Taylor because I knew I was going to get auto drafted if I didn't, because I start rambling. So that is good to go. And we're about to move on here. So CMC goes, Justin Jefferson goes, as you can see, Eckler, Kupp, nothing crazy. I still don't like taking Eckler that high, but I get on these best balls why some folks are doing it. They're looking at the upside. I'm just not in love with that upside because I believe you got his upside last year. I think this year is going to be the exact opposite of upside. It's coming back down now. And it's about to head down. Went Kupp, Chase, Dalvin Cook, no big surprise there. You know, some of the guys that are out there that are available, you know, obviously Derrick Henry's out there. Got a lot of things that you can choose from. And I do understand why a lot of folks don't want to grab a Henry in a best ball draft, especially one with the PPR, but I'm just not scared of it. I'm not scared of it at all. I think it's a situation where you've got to look at what kind of production he can give to you on a weekly basis. Henry goes number 9, Diggs 8. I don't hate that. Devontae Adams goes 10th and Najee Harris 11th. Same person, so that doesn't surprise me. Although I'm ranking Harris in front of Adams, but it doesn't really matter if it's unless there's some kind of weird keeper rule that you have. As you can see there, we're now at Mixon just goes off the clock, and now the guy that gets goes and gets Kelsey goes. Now that is actually one of the later ones that I've seen Kelsey go. It's coming back to me soon. Did I get auto drafted? I must have read that wrong. I didn't realize that was me all the way at the bottom of the draft. So what the hell? I got Kelsey and I got Stephon Diggs. I must have read that wrong. I don't know how I read that wrong. So I don't much. All right, well, there you go. That's what I get for trying to do 6 things at once. So I'm going to have to rebound here. I've got my tight end. I've got my receiver, Diggs and Kelsey. That is funny as hell. When I saw him go off the board on the auto draft, I just assumed that I was waiting. Well, dumbass BI. So I won't have another pick here for a minute. I'm going to move some stuff off my board here. That's what I'm saying. It's really difficult to do this when you're doing this live and you're trying to run a board. That's why I'm not a big fan of doing a big dollar amount. This one, I believe, was just a $5 buy-in. So $10 or 10 people, so $50 all in all. And I want to say the pot you get, what does the winner get here on this? 30, 10, and 5 is what it's up for. The good thing is I have not done a draft anything like this. I've not had Diggs. I've not had Kelsey. I would never even fathom to do that. So if this falls this way, I'm going to go with a different best ball strategy than what I have gone with any of my teams. And who the hell knows? I might have just auto drafted myself into helping myself out. I'm a firm believer in running backs early in the draft, at least in the first 2 rounds. So I typically would not have ever done, and I'm not that big of a Diggs fan, but it is coming to me. And if he's there, I'll probably grab Allen to key up with Diggs. It's too early that if Allen goes off the board, it's too early to go with Mahomes. I would try to get him in a couple of rounds. Allen's there. I'm going to go ahead and do it. Went ahead and took Allen off the board. I come up again in 4 picks. And so I've got Josh Allen. I've got Diggs. I do not have a running back, which is quite concerning this late in the draft, but it is coming back to me. There's still some good running backs out there, and there's some really comes down to me. Man, I have a hard time turning down one of the better receivers. When you're talking about best ball, I'm going to do something I don't typically do, which is I'm going to go hard on the wide receivers. Give me some A.J. Brown. Why not? We go A.J. Brown here. I've got A.J. Brown. Go ahead and move this over like this. I've got A.J. Brown. I've got Josh Allen, Travis Kelce, and Stephon Diggs. Normally, I would hate this team. If you're just joining us, I got auto-drafted these 2. I wasn't paying attention. I was trying to do 9 things at once while I'm setting up the board. And I thought mine said the first pick. I could have swore it said that. It must have been changing over. But I ended up with the 8th pick, and I wasn't paying attention. So if I had to do this over, I would have grabbed Derrick Henry. And when it came back around, I might have gone Kelsey, or I would have grabbed one of these running backs that they've fallen. But this is fine with me with the best ball, because so many of my other leagues, and I'm in a ton now, so many of my best ball leagues look exactly what I just told you about. I've got like Henry or Cook or one of the elite running backs at the top of the draft, and then I come back around and grab another one, and then I try to sprinkle in receivers. This one, I don't have a running back yet, but I've got 2 elite receivers, the number 1 quarterback ranked, although I don't believe in these quarterback rankings, but I wanted to go ahead and grab him because I had Diggs. If you're going to have Allen, you might as well grab Diggs. It's coming back to me in the few picks, but I want to leave it here for a minute, see where else. So ETN went, Sutton, Allen, Waddle, all these receivers are going. It's one of the reasons why I wanted to make sure I got another elite receiver. Gabe Davis, when I was hoping he might fall, though it's not typical. I was hoping he might fall to me in the 5th round to put him in with Allen and Diggs. But what that does prevent me from doing is getting stuck in a situation where I have Buffalo one week and they go up against a good defense, or it's just the game flow is slow and I don't get any points. So Darren Waller just went. Zeke, I don't think I have Kelsey on any of my teams. So this is different. This is a different team, but I kind of like having the difference considering I'm so running back heavy on all the others. Zeke went, Breece Hall went, totally fine with that. Juju comes off the board. It's coming back to me, so I need to go to the actual these picks. I'm one pick away. Got running backs. Got two really good running backs here. So I think I'm probably going to go running back. Cam Akers is still there. I'm going to go ahead and grab I think that might be a steal. Grabbing Cam Akers in the 5th round could be a huge, huge steal for me. It's going to come back around in a minute, so I don't have time to take it off. I'm going to go ahead and put Dobbins up there. If he falls to me, that's great. If not, I'm looking at some of these other receivers. The tempting thing would be to go grab Mahomes and really cripple the rest of the league. This isn't a tournament, right? This is a league that is not a tournament. Mahomes just went off the board. If Mahomes would have stayed there, I think I would have grabbed him. But instead, I'm going to grab Dobbins. So with my 5th and 6th round, I'm still looking good at running back. I was afraid I was going to get some real bozos at running back. So I can go and I can stick Diggs and A.J. Brown as my 2 receivers with Kelsey as my tight end. I've got my elite quarterback, and then I just filled my backfield up. When it comes back to me, at this point, I'm looking at wide receiver and or flex. I doubt I go quarterback again for a while just because of the way it fell to me. And some of the quarterbacks that I would be interested in, I'm pretty sure they're going to be off the board. But we'll see what happens with that. It's coming back to me in a few. Oh no, hell, I got 8 picks left. Michael Thomas just went off the board. He has been creeping up and up and up. So many folks have Thomas, I think, overrated because of his absence. Like, for instance, I'm taking Amon-Ra St. Brown before I'm taking Thomas just because I know what he's going to do. I know the talent is still there realistically, but he's kind of made of glass. And I don't really want a guy made of glass as a number 6, in my starting rotation. And that's a baseball term, but what the hell? Braves Mets are about to start here in a second. I will definitely be tuning into that. I would love to do the game tonight, but I've got plans with the wife. So tonight is I am going to watch the game. I hope to have this done by then. Go ahead and take nobody needs to see me. All right. So it's coming back to me. I like the Trey Lancer in the 7th round, by the way. I really starting to like the guy with the first pick. The pick I thought I had when this draft started threw me off. I like how he started. He's got Taylor Kamara and Chubb. He's a little questionable at receiver, but if you just start throwing receivers at the board, some of them are going to stick. It's coming back to me in about 4 picks. I'm going to go ahead and change the view real quick. And some of the players that are still there, you've got some interesting ones. The guy that's picking right now, and I think I'm going to change the view like this. This might be a better view for y'all. Do that. And you'll see a better view all in all. But right now, I'm looking at this. By the way, if you are looking for Braves baseball, we'll be back doing that on Friday night. Tonight, we're just doing a quick fantasy show, and then we've got plans to watch the game. But I'm looking at this, how this is going to fall to me. Now, the guy that just drafted, he did grab Godwin. So you don't hate that, but at the same token, he's have a quarterback. And I look at the strategy much different from a tournament to just a league like this. I've got AJ Brown. I've got Josh Allen. I'm going to go ahead and grab Jalen Hurts. So now I've got the quarterback and the receiving combo for both of those teams. And depending on how it goes down, we'll see how the turn is. I don't think I want to think I'm either going. I think I'm going to go receiver coming back. I think it might be a little too early to go double up on my tight end. It's tempting, but what are you really going to get out of that? Once again, if you're not familiar with best ball, you draft and that's it. The computer figures out your best lineup and away you go. So you can draft so much differently than you would in a regular season. Plus, the rosters are much deeper. You're talking about an 18-man roster. It's coming back to me, and there's some really good options. There's Drake London, which I like. I like D-Hop. Devontae Smith is tempting since I do have Jalen Hurts. Falls to me, and I think I'm just going to go get the best talented receiver out there. I'll be able to absorb when I come back and get some more receivers. I'll be able to absorb a 6-week layoff because I'm going to attack the receivers now. I've got my two quarterbacks. I can ignore my quarterbacks. Other than the fact that I didn't pay attention, I got 2 bye weeks. Bye week quarterbacks. So I'm gonna have to grab a late quarterback at the end just to try to pair him in with whatever I end up with. Which means I'm definitely only going 2 tight ends. Means I'm probably only going 5 running backs. So I've got to try to get running backs that I believe in. The first 2 I definitely believe in. Depends on what's going to fall to me next. That's why it's so difficult to run one of these in draft, because you get to talking and you don't do your typical paying attention to stuff. We're doing our annual fantasy draft Saturday, September 3rd, 10 a.m. And that's a lot of fun. It's a trophy draft. The winner gets a trophy. But what is difficult about it is that these guys will get locked in to whatever the hell they're doing, right? I'm going to shorten this screen just a little bit, just try to compress it just a little, compress it a little bit. And I've got to try to carry the show and make sure, because we're also simulcasting on some CBS Sports affiliates. I can't have dead air. And they'll just get sucked in and watching their team, and that's the most difficult part of it. I try to open up the entire room so they can all come in and pay attention, and they can all come in and talk. But what always ends up happening, 3 or 4 of them won't even think about joining because they get so locked in because they're so competitive, which is why I like playing with them. It's coming back to me. That was quick. So it's at me. The best running backs available. Rashad Penny, the bell cow for the Seattle Seahawks, is still there. Let's go. I'm in. And we'll see what ends up falling to me now. I'm either going to go with another receiver, unless something real, like Kareem Hunt doesn't entice me because I don't have Chubb, so I don't feel like I have to get him. But I'm 2 picks away, and guy who's picking right now has got 2 tight ends. The guy after him's got a tight end. If Goddard were to fall to me, I have Jalen Hurts, and Goddard's going to fall to me. I'm going to go ahead and grab him. So I've got the Philadelphia connection. So I love that. And thankfully my tight ends aren't on the same bye week. So what a mess that would be in. So I've got 3 bell cows. I've got my 2 tight ends. I can ignore my tight ends now. I've got 3 bell cows. And I can start focusing on receivers because I've got my 2 quarterbacks. Like I said, I'm gonna grab a third quarterback at the very end, but I'm just gonna throw something that sticks up against the wall. I'm not gonna stress about it. Now I'm gonna sprinkle in a running back here and there, but I'm not gonna break the bank. I'm not gonna worry about it. There's nothing left out there at running back that would make you say, well, yeah, let's go ahead and do this. I'm trying to figure why everyone is going past Damian Harris. I guess some of these rumors you're hearing, folks think that he's going to not get a lot of touches, but I don't think that's true. There's a couple of running backs of interest down here. If one of them were to fall to me, I might wait one more pick to start going receivers, but in all likelihood, one of these receivers is going to fall to me. And if that happens, I'll be able to take it and run. I've got, where am I at now? I am 7 picks away. Sometimes I just like grabbing, a lot of times with these drafts, especially the fast moving ones, I'm not going to go haywire and start putting a bunch of guys in the queue because they go way too fast. But what am I? I'm 5 picks away. It doesn't hurt to start doing it now. So I'll put Harris in there. I like Cook's upside. I like Pierce's upside. MVS, I just don't think he's going to be there. Claypool concerns me. I like Tolbert's upside. Pickens, like him a lot. We'll kind of go from there and see what falls to me now. 2 picks away. If I can get another bell cow like Damian Harris, I'm going to do it. But if not, if he goes, I'll punt the running back and I'll get the best receiver available, which to me, it's Tolbert. Harris does fall to me. It's the best ball when his bye week is 10 that only matches Dobbins. I'll go ahead and grab him. Why not? So now I've got 4 bell cows. I've got Akers, Dobbins, Penny, and Harris. All 4 of those teams play in offenses that do like to run the ball. Baltimore and Seattle and New England, that's all they do some weeks. It's coming back to me. So now the rubber's going to meet the road because now I've got to figure out, do I want to go with one of the best receivers available, which I think I probably should. I'm really low on receivers, but I don't mind waiting and grabbing them at the end because remember, beginning of the draft, we got Diggs and Brown. When he comes off the suspension, we're going to have Hopkins. I might actually put Pickens in front of him. Because I have to look at this now. When I go to make my next pick, I won't draft again for several picks. It's coming down to me. And I do like a lot of receivers down here. Everyone's talked about Dubs, but look, Dotson and DJ Chark should have some upside. Christian Watson, we still haven't seen what he can do. There's a lot of receivers out there that could. I'm going to go. I don't think I have any. I might have one, but I don't think I have hardly any George Pickens. I'm going to grab George Pickens. I think he's got a lot of talent. When you've already got the proven guys with Diggs and A.J. Brown and Hopkins, now you're looking for. I'll tell you something else you can do with Arizona, and I think Rondelle Moore's being overrated at this point. With Hopkins, he's going to be out at the beginning of the year. That means someone like an AJ Green could definitely benefit. if you're looking at tight ends, and I feel like I'm already loaded at tight ends, but if you're looking at tight ends, what you can look at is Zach Ertz should eat at the beginning of the season. Now, when Hopkins comes back, who knows what's going to happen? But sometimes that messes up chemistry, and they never get back into the right frame. Take that tight end off where I accidentally get myself a tight end. So now it's going to go. I'm still 9 picks away. It's actually moving really fast at this point. Now guys are just grabbing and go. Now guys have guys that they like, and they're just going to do it, right? They're just going to go out there and do it. They don't give a damn about searching. They just have guys. And we all do it. We'll all, there's a Bucks fan out there. There's Russell Gage out there. Sweet, I'm grabbing him. Right. So when you start getting back towards the end of the draft, the 13th, 14th, 15th, on, it's really, you almost end up with the same guys every time. I try not to do that, but you always do. You always do. You always end up with those same guys. To look here, when it comes up to me in 4 picks, if there's one more, I grabbed one. If there's any more, there's not really another guy. So what I might do is just grab a handcuff. My running backs, I do have 2 similar bye weeks. I don't like that, but my running backs, got some options later in the draft. I think I'm just going to go with 5 running backs because once again, I've got to grab a receiver, a quarterback, because I painted myself into a corner grabbing 2 quarterbacks with the same bye week, which isn't the end of the world, but it's not really how you want to build a team. In week 7, that's a tricky one. You would say, well, grab one of the young guys. You don't know for sure if Pickett or Ritter or any of those guys are going to be behind center at the end or at the beginning of week 7. It's coming back to me. I think I'm going to go receiver, see who is available here. Romeo Dubs is still there. I'm just going to grab him. I've got too many shares of him, I believe, but I like the fact that if I stretch this out and you can see this real quick, Diggs and Brown are in the 7, but Hopkins, who's obviously not going to be there, will obviously come back in week 7. That'll be his first week. Hopkins is 13, Dubs is 14, and Romeo is right there. So, and I got another pick coming up really soon. So I feel like I can start eyeing who I would want to go here. And see if there's anything available here at running back. So it's my shot. I don't really like these running back situations. Quarterbacks, there's some interesting quarterbacks still there. So I can still wait a minute. I want to go back to the wide receiver, and Palmer intrigues me. Dotson intrigues me. I don't think I want to go with yet another Christian. I've got a couple of teams where I've got Christian Watson and I have Romeo Dubs, and I don't want to do that to myself because one of them is going to end up being a dud. And that is the last thing that we want. By the way, the Braves game is starting. If you're a Braves fan, I've got plans tonight, or I would do the game. Just trying to squeeze this in. My wife's on her way home. We're going to hang out tonight, and I'm going to watch the game. But hopefully those Braves pull it off. If you're just joining us going, what the hell is the Braves guy doing? I do fantasy football as well. We're ending a fantasy football best ball. We're heading into the 14th round. All right. Or tail end of the 14th round. So we got 3 more picks. And I'm looking at this where I've got 6 receivers, 4 running backs, 2 quarterbacks, 2 tight ends. I've got to grab another quarterback eventually, but I don't really care what it is because it's only for 1 week, but I think it's going to matter. So I've got to grab a quarterback. I've got to grab Unfortunately, I've got to grab at least. No, I'm sorry. I've got 5 picks left. I've got 4 picks left. So 2 receivers I can go. I can grab me a running back and grab me a quarterback, and that'll get me to my 15. Or sorry, 18. 18 is how many you have. I miscounted there for a second. I thought I was pigeonholed to only have 7 receivers, but I like having 8, sometimes 9. I think people who go 10 and 11 are overdoing it because you're really leaving yourself wide open for issues. It's going to come back to me in 6 picks. There's a few players, and I'm a little surprised they're still there. So I'm kind of glad I punted some of the decisions that I made. It's coming to me in 3 picks? I'm a little surprised that Watson's still there. I'm really surprised that, look, if you're looking for a running back late in the draft, if he falls to me, I'm going to grab him because it really looks like he might be the guy they're going to find. Brian Robinson appears to be unseating Gibson, and it's kind of worth a shot. It's either that or I go Khalil Herbert and you hope he outplays. But I don't really feel like, so it's come to me. I kind of like the Robinson. I want to make sure I don't have a bunch of 14 bye weeks. I do not. So I'm going to go ahead and grab Brian Robinson and hope for the best there. It's going to come back to me at receiver and quarterback now. There's some interesting quarterbacks, but there's still some I can wait on. There's some really good quarterbacks that you're talking about just filling in for 1 week. I'm just not concerned with grabbing any of these guys at this point. It's coming back to me again, and I can grab my last quarterback on the way back. So now I want the best receiver available, and I'm 3 picks away. And to me, it's between Dotson and Watson, and I'm going to get one of them. Isaiah McKenzie is kind of that's a tempting one too, because of the fact that I have Josh Allen. But is that too much of a reach? That would be my question mark. That could be one hell of a reach. I guess it doesn't realistically matter. He's got a 152 ADP. I'll go ahead and do it. I don't believe I have a single share of his. I'll go ahead and grab him. KJ Hamler is very enticing, but with the concerns with him coming off the injury, I don't know. So I'll have 2 more picks. I got to grab a quarterback. Matt Ryan's still sitting out there. Who else is still out there at quarterback? I was going to take a flyer on Daniel Jones. I don't see him now, so he must have went off the board recently. Tannehill, I don't know about that. Davis Mills intrigues me more than him. And when they get him healthy, Zach Wilson, Kenny Pickett. So I may wait till the very last. If Matt Ryan's not there when I go to pick, I may wait till the very last pick to grab my quarterback, because nothing's. In fact, he just went off the board. So yeah, I'm definitely not reaching there. I'm going to grab the best receiver available now. Jarvis Landry's interesting. Nico Collins to me is interesting. I'm staying away from Robbie Anderson. Anybody that is pissed off the quarterback that's coming in, I want to stay away from him. Wandale Robinson, Jameson Williams. These are the kind of guys I love grabbing in the last round. If I would have been able to get Matt Ryan, I would have liked some Paris Campbell. But I'm going to steer clear one of these receivers is going to fall to me, either Wandale Robinson or Nico Collins. I'm sorry, Jameson Williams. All right, they both fall to me. Where am I at on buys? I've got it's a 9 and a 6 on the buys, and I don't see anything doubling me up on that. So I'm going to go with the upside. This guy is just ridiculously good. The one thing that I'm seriously considering is just punt that week with no quarterback. But now I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I always think about that. Why don't I just go ahead and not run with a quarterback in week 7 and just see what happens? But I'm not going to do it. I'm going to give myself a fighting chance. And if he's there, I'll tell you what, if he's there, I'll take Jared Goff. If he's not, I'll go another route. Considering these guys have a lot of quarterbacks already drafted, I figure Goff's probably going to be there, because if Goff goes off with Jameson Williams one week, I'll have a chance for him to be the guy. And his bye week is week 6. I want to make sure I don't have any of that going on. I've done that before. I'm talking and I go, I need another player at this position. And then I draft a guy in the same damn bye week. Keep you updated there. The Braves are down 2-0. They gave up 2 solo shots to Odorizzi. Man, he's not turned out well. Okay, so it came to me. I'm going to go ahead and take the guy that I know is starting, Jared Goff, and that'll be my team. I'm not going to hang around here because I got to jump off. Wife's calling me, so she probably wants to know what in the hell am I doing. Real quick, I'm going to look at the teams, and this is what we have going on here. All in all, I thought my team was okay, but I've done better. Let me do it this way. This is much better. Go ahead and run my team like this. I've got Allen, Hurts, and Goff. And because of this, the 7 and 7, I had to go Goff. Akers, Dobbins, Penny, Damian Harris, and Brian Robinson. I'm liking that. And then the receivers, by the way, Kelsey and Goddard, gotta love that. My receivers, I'm pairing up Goddard and Brown with Hurts. So you gotta love that. And then I've got Diggs, and I grabbed Isaiah McKenzie to pair up with Josh Allen. And then Jameson Williams goes with Jared Goff. So you like that? And then when he comes off the suspension, I got Hopkins. Pickens, big upside. Dubs, big upside. Palmer, big upside. So I really like my team. I think I got a fair shot of winning this, even though I got auto drafted at the beginning. All right, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. If you want to hear the beginning of the show, gave the rankings for the ESPN draft, go ahead and rewind it, and see you Friday night for the Armchair Quarterbacks kickoff show leading into Braves versus Astros. Go Braves. We'll see you.